There we go. There we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Holy crap. It feels like it was months ago since we've actually had a sim racing event here at Logistical Nightmare. Unbelievable to be back in the hot seat again. So I am truly hoping everything's going to go as anticipated and as I expect. For those that have followed us throughout the season, we initially started off with 2 racing events. The first session was dramatic, beautiful. The second was chaotic, excited. And now we are hosting the finals of the LNR MSA Cup Championship for 2024, which I believe is going to be eventful now. For unknown reasons to me, we decided to pick a track called Zolder for the first race, which in itself is the most challenging track for GT sim racing. So I do hope it's going to be exceptionally eventful for everyone. The boys are out on the track at the present stage, doing a bit of practice time. Now again, they've got a few more minutes to go. And then, of course, we are most likely going to switch over to a qualifying session, which will run for about good 10 minutes. Now, we've got 2 different classes for everyone new on here. We'll do the pros and the pro-am. So boys in white with their colors on white, numbers in white, will be the pro boys versus the pro-am boys, which are marked in green on the screen if you look at the overall standings. So it's going to be quite eventful having 2 different types of class people on the track fighting for the penultimate championship for the season. Now, of course, as we always do, we have a magnitude of races that we will do and host during the season. There is 3 in total that will define who does what. Now, of course, the next race will be round 2 at Masano, and then we're going to finish it off in classic South African style at Kyalami, and I cannot wait to see where we will finish up. So again, every 2 weeks from now, you can get glued to the screen. We will be here hosting and giving you the opportunity to spectate a beautiful race at Logistical Nightmare Racing, a place for sim racers in South Africa, affiliated and agreed with Motorsport South Africa, which is just going to be epic and entertainment. So while these guys do their practice sessions, I'm going to go and just roll over to give a few moments to say big thanks to our sponsors. Now, this is a time where I just take an opportunity to take it out and then hopefully catch you oaks very soon. There we go, back in it again. This is the qualifying session. Everyone out on the track. As you can see, it is busy back to front. It's gonna be hard for me to just figure out who's who in the zoo and where they are. We currently on R. Beddington Smith at this stage, but everyone's backing up everywhere. I reckon Musa was the man getting out very quickly. No, it doesn't seem like it. He's around about third there with his BMW in the Pro, car number 2, getting to his penultimate quick hot lap, chasing down what seems to be 2 Ferraris. Now, I'm not too sure who those are. It's definitely not Naval and Farmer and Pretorius, who we've just seen passing by. It's also not Buerta there, so I'm going to see if I can find who those front runners are. Oh, a bit of a hiccup there by a few individuals getting it ready. Now that's not going to be ideal for him. Fafirs was up there, Rowe. So it looks like it is Rowe that started. No, Rowe's the one in the background there in second with car 22. So is it too bad? No, we'll keep an eye on, yeah, by Rowe. He is racing here with Hybrid Racing Pro 1. Daniel Rowe, car 32. Looks like he was second out of the blocks coming into the pits. Now he is being chased down by Musa there in the BMW, so they are very close to one another. I just need to get my eye on who is car 1. Car 1 could be anyone, but this is where it's gonna happen and count. I mean, and from this first lap, I can actually start tracking who's going to be the boys on the block. Now, Zolder in itself is very, very tricky. For anyone that has ever driven it, you have 2 options. One, you can go hard on every corner, or what some would do is just try and avoid the corners because it is a bit risky. Already on the move is Bauer in a 128. Now he is an individual to keep an eye out. Bauer, known for his very speed, if anyone has been watching this season, followed by Vessels in the Ford. Vessels had an unfortunate situation in the second season, but has pulled through to get to the finals. A man on the mix, and again, I cannot see his livery, but I just do not know why. Musa currently in third spot. Now he is moving a bit faster than what he did in his initial lap, probably about 3/10 up at this stage, closing the gap between himself and of course the guy ahead of him. Now he needs to keep it cool, calm and collective. Whether he can improve, that is to be determined. Bauer still the man up there. Now I'm going to go to the fastest Pro-Am guy. Oh, we just decided to go to the pit. Daniel Buerta back up to Musa, putting up the fastest lap. He is there and then instantaneously beaten by Naval from Logistical Nightmare Racing with a very peculiar pink color there, which I gotta admit caught my eye quickly. But he is the man that has got the penultimate qualifying time up there. Now of course we've got 10 more minutes to go, which kind of means that there's still enough time. As you can see, it takes 1 minute 28 seconds to get around this circuit, which means we can probably do another good 8 to 9 laps if these boys are fueled up for it. Though I still expect that some of them will go back into the pits, grab another set of tires, because the tire selection here is endless. I mean, I don't think we've got any limitations for them. These guys can have as much as they want in and out of the pits, as long as they do what is needed. Now, talking about that in general, I think for the strategy today, that is going to be interesting, because I think from recollection, these guys do not need to pit. Anyone that watched our previous seasons, there was a mandatory pit requirement whereby they would either need to fuel or do a pit stop for tire changes. On this track itself, there is none like that. The expectation is a 60-minute point-to-point race, and they can do what they need to. Now, recollection, tire degradation comes to mind. Are you quicker when you go to the pit, get a new fresh set, get out there, and get the job done, or do you risk it and just push it through, keep it clean, avoid collisions, which could bring you into a beautiful victory? So if anyone's been watching, H. Mayer, the man on the move. Oh, just made a big thump there back into the pits. Now that's going to cause quite a bit of stir if you do that in your race, as you have seen there by Mayer. Naval currently in second, Vessels still in third, Musa stays in fourth. People on the move at this stage is Domingo here with his BMW, driving for Project Vapor. He's up by 7/10 as he heads into sector 3. Now he's got to keep the momentum, find these braking spots for the final few corners, and this is where it gets tricky around that U-bend, because if you outbrake yourself, you lose a couple of tenths, which is what has occurred there. The man has lost about 2 tenths, but your final push here in the final section is what's going to make it or break it. Does he get enough momentum to pull it out the bag? Can he pick up a couple of more spots? No, Domingo still sits in 10th place. Fastest Pro-Am guy at the moment is De Jager. I'm gonna watch this out. He is driving for Griffin Sim Racing, pulling it up there, and he's in between a good mix there, currently in 8th spot. So what a beautiful lap by this man, putting it into the top 10 of the pros. He is miles ahead of a second pro class man, which is H. van der Sant here, driving for We Are Pace Motorsports, in the mix, currently second in the Pro-Am from a qualifying position, being chased down heavily by Dave Young, and he's Aston Martin driving for Logistical Nightmare Racing. And all of a sudden, Mr. Buerta from AF Course pulls it out of the bag and jumps to position. He is now officially the man chasing down De Jager for a penultimate qualifying section. Of course, at the back of the grid, we have Robson, Hall, Duran, Denoon, Maritz, Scruton, Van der Venter, Van der Berg, Stein, Nicholson, Hubert. As you can see, 41 drivers on a track like this. I think it's crazy. I'll be dead honest. That is mental madness all the way through. I am literally going to cross every finger and toe just to hope that these boys actually survive on the first lap. This is their profession. This is what they love. Expectation is top-notch driving, and I do believe that that will occur. Now, going back to the top of the charts here, Mayer still the man to beat. Neville and Vessels fighting extremely hard to make any headway ahead of Vessels. Vessels, as you can see, lining up to do another lap here. So he's done his outlap, and he's gonna pull it out of the bag and see what he can pull up. Let's see if I can get a better view here, coming from a different angle. As you can see, coming down the straight, get your brake marker perfect solid, bring the car around to the left, and be patient enough to get back onto the throttle. And then this corner is tricky enough because you need to get the right line to then create the momentum to go all the way through full throttle. And this is like a one shift here, one shift brake right turn to push it more. And this is where you either gain or lose time. And again, top notch, someone has broken that barrier. That is Q Duplessis in the Audi. Now that is a phenomenal drive from him, like 0.012 ahead of the pack there as the car goes out of his way, and he's still trying to beat that. Gosh, you can see as he fight the curbs in and out. Mayer up in a battle, so is Duplessis, so is Neville. It is a nail-biting close when I'm looking at the delta. Marginal differences between these boys. It is literally going to come down to who gets the better exit corner in this final section, and I think Mayer has just done enough to snatch the pole again, as he did. 127.980 puts up a new benchmark, and Duplessis needs to go fight back at it again. Pushes Musa and everyone else a tad higher in the grid. I'm gonna have to keep my water bottle very close to me today, because the excitement is just gonna keep it so entertaining. Now while we're at it, we got less than 3 minutes off time, so I'm gonna give a shout out to whoever's on the stream. Sim Racing Dino saying can't get PC to go into without blue screen. Sim Racing Dino having some technical issues there. Vanneberg, go Team Martian. Alvin kicking up, there go. Good luck Vessels and Skitty. So there's a shout out for 2 drivers. I'll keep an eye out for them. I don't think I've seen Skitty anywhere. He is currently in 14th position. Vessels on the other hand sitting at 5th, so he's doing phenomenally well. Apart from that, no other shout outs by the people on the stream. Again, if there's someone you want me to peek out and have a look at, just give me a shout and I'll try and give him a bit of screen time. As you've all seen, it's going to be very, very tough. We have 41 drivers on the group today. It is packed by far. Still, the fastest man from an AM class is the Jager. He's currently now down in 17th position. It looks like he's not going to do much to improve, nor is Dylan Hall, who seems to be in 2nd place. They seem very comfortable now. Whether they have decided that that is their best benchmark they can do, or probably the top fastest lap they've ever done, kind of hard to beat, but sometimes to be the best you can have to achieve the best. Van der Sante in 3rd for the AM class, followed by Buerta, Robson and Scruton. Top of the pro division, you can already see that Mayer, Duplessis and Serodio decided to put it in the pit. I don't think they're going to do another lap, so we've got our eyes on Grobler, who is gone out and tried to do another lap there. Bit of a fumble for that, so I don't think he's going to improve at all on his lap time. Musa on the other hand pushing very hard. He's in the final 3rd sector, probably has one more last shot at it, but he is up by a few tenths. Can he get into the top 3 positions? Oh, Musa puts it on pole out of nowhere. Beautiful final sector there, hits it out the park with a 127.6. I don't think there's anyone else that can beat him. He is still gonna push to try and do another lap, but I think he has it in the bag. Neville is probably the only one that's gonna challenge him for that position. Hence, these 2 boys are pushing very hard. Musa just needs to secure that spot out of nowhere. This is where I go, like, you cannot stop until the final seconds is done. The countdown timer has begun. Neville pushing very hard. He's the only one that can probably take that pole position away from Musa. I know Favij is on a good lap as well, but he needs to do a heck of a lot to put it out there. So the eye is on Neville here for Logistical Nightmare Racing. Can he improve on it? Whether he will get it or not, that is to be determined. Musa on the other hand putting up a scorcher of a 3rd lap sector there, and he's going to improve on his time for sure. He does so No two ways about it. Neville has decided not to carry on. And these are the times for everyone to see. Ooh, let's see if I can get it. Times are there. Someone came in and said hello, thank you, and subscribed. Again, much appreciation for that subscription. I've missed your name. Thanks a lot. Welcome to the stream. This is the penultimate cup final championship we have this year. 41 drivers on the grid. I reckon this is going to be ecstatically exciting. Give me a few seconds and as we come back into the final seconds, this is where we're going to start off. It looks like it's going to be a short grid side-by-side race start. These boys are not going to have a warm-up lap, which is just going to make it more epic for everyone to get what they need to do. Back into the stream, Antonio goes, go Jason Ferme, my boy. Nico Stein going for Roland Stein, pedal to the middle. Antonio shutting out, have everyone a good race. Henko going, go Team Martian. So let's see where this ends up. Green lights on. Musa gets a good start, but it does look like Mayer got a better start from the grid. They go side by side through the first corner. A bit of argy-bargy there. Mayer pushing extremely hard to get it through. Does take the position. Now we've got Mayer ahead of Musa and then Bauer in third position, followed, it looks to be, oh, not 100% sure, but what has happened? What? Oof, sorry about that. A bit of a technical difficulty there. For some strange reason, my application just went over the moon. But again, side by side action yet again. This is Mayer and Musa not giving it up, going through the S's. That is brave. These boys have absolutely no fear. They were going to go all the way through. Mayer fighting it excessively hard, doesn't want to give an edge to Musa. Bauer on the other hand fending off both Serodio, Grobler, Rowe, Neville, and so forth. There is definitely going to be contact today. No two ways about it. This is a tight track. But so far, it looks quite clean. I'm going to go look at the logs and just see what's happening here and there. A bit of contact between 1 and 36, 4 and 14. Oh, I'm going to go and figure all of this out. Ferrara is in the pits. Drive-through penalties for some boys. The stewarding team are going to be excessively busy as it stays. I need to probably log out and log back in. Got a bit of technical difficulties going on here. My applications aren't working the way I would have expected it to work. Something's gone horribly wrong. I'm just doing it. Connections. Oh, something's gone excessively wrong. So we still got the front of the race whereby we have Mayer, Musa, Bauer fighting it out. It is a close battle in the top notch. I'm gonna have to go to a quick break here. I'm so dreadfully sorry, but there's a serious technical thing here. Give me a few minutes to do this. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. My deepest apologies for everyone that is on the stream. That was really a bad technical glitch that I just observed there. I had to go back and recover everything again. For some other weird reason, I had absolutely no control over anything. I do not know what has occurred. But now we are back in the action and I can actually talk to you about what the hell is going on here. Welcome everyone to the stream, Logistical Nightmare Racing. This is our penultimate and final championship season consisting of 3 races. Currently in the lead is a big battle between Mayer driving for Martian Racing, who I've seen many shout outs on the YouTube stream. Again, the couple of boys like, who was it? Henko van der Berg, pouring it out there saying, go Martian. They are absolutely fighting it hard. They're in first and in third, so Mayer and Bauer putting it out there, but is heavily challenged there by Musa. Grobler also not far off. This is pretty much the top 4 boys that is broken away from Serodio, who is being challenged by Rowe. And then of course he's got Neville, Domingo and Vessels behind him, so there's a little battle here in by 4th, 6th and so forth. Big slide there was that. Grobler and Bauer. Yes, Grobler has managed to make a move on Bauer. Ooh, collision touch between Bauer and Grobler. Grobler gonna dump all the way down. He manages to recover the car, thank goodness for that, but he has definitely dropped a few positions. Slight fender bender there by Bauer and Grobler. I reckon the stewarding team will most definitely have a look at that. even though it looked very accidental from my point of view. Just a slight misjudged calculation on braking point. Now that has allowed these two boys to escape the grid. So at this stage, 50 minutes in the race still left, will be between Mayer and Musa, and then back behind there we've got Serodio working extremely hard to fend off Rowe, who is driving for Hybrid Racing, their Pro 1 team here, in the beautiful blue and white colors. I have to admit, it looks exceptionally elegant there, although at this moment that Martian team has just a fabulous livery that just, I don't know, the mix of it is absolutely spectacular. But nonetheless, that's just enough of me drooling about liveries. Apart from that, we still got Neville. He's fending off two individuals behind him, which is Domingo. Now Neville driving for Logistical Nightmare Racing, being chased down by Domingo, who is from Project Vapor in his BMW. And then of course we have Vessels in the Ford. Not far from that, Paul Fenter also battling it out there with Ryan Beddington Smith. And then the man in the Pro-Am, De Jager from Griffin Racing, currently in 13th overall, but first from a Pro-Am standing point of view, which is absolutely great for him. He's got a good gap between himself and the guy chasing him down, which is Van der Berg from LNR Racing Team, and of course Scruton, who's trying to chase him down also in the BMW. Got a few other LNR boys behind him. So this is TTHR from Scruton. Paul Fenter trying to argy-bargy his way through, but also has to fend off Dupree, who's all behind him. This is just gonna get an ugly mess if they continue this way. Paul Fenter fighting his way, getting it through. Now, get effort, good balls, great drive. Pushing it up the mark, and I'm going to try and give everyone as much screen time as I can. Dave Young here also in the mix. There is 41 drivers on the grid. Just beautiful to see. This is the most trickiest section of Zolder itself. I am expecting a couple of drive-through penalties from everyone. However, Mayer from Martian Racing slowly pulling away from Musa, getting in well and settled though. So everything seems to go according to what they have planned out. Even though Musa was the man on pole, lost it at the beginning of the race during lap 1. These two went side by side on multiple corners, but Mayer, being the aggressor, took the lead and has not looked back since then. Bauer, his fellow teammate, I would believe, currently in third, so covering off anything that's going to come their direction. Battle still ongoing between Serodio and Rowe. And that looks like a beautiful chrome-ish black-based BMW, which in my humble opinion also looks fantastic. Loving the South African flags there on the rear wings, just giving a big representation of SA. Pro on the other hand for Hybrid Pro, not letting Serodio out of his sight. So close battle there. It's all just going to be a situation of who can manage it through. And then of course we have Neville there trying to catch them up, but has got a 3-second delta in between this battle that still needs to be worked on. So he's got lots of work to do. Vessels on the other hand has somehow evolved himself to be the guy leading Grobler, Domingo, Ryan Beddington Smith, followed by Farmer. So a good 5-car battle here. And if we go into the mix, it is BMWs to Ferraris to Aston Martins. Minor situations there, as we can see. Ryan Beddington Smith on the rear end of Domingo. Not close enough though, but it's all about getting the exit. Domingo going very defensive though, not allowing that Aston Martin any leg room to make headway or through. So Beddington Smith fighting it out. It's just gotta be a bit patient. It's a long race. Plenty of things can happen. And while we look at these boys battling it out, let's just see who's on the stream. Anro 146, Martian boy, head down, let's go boys. Big shout out there, Nico Nell. Good day all. Let's enjoy a good race. I would believe that is a fantastic comment there by Nico. Let's do enjoy it. It's going to be a 60-minute race of pure fun and enjoyment. To everyone else watching the stream, thank you. Much appreciated. I will honestly try and make this as entertaining as we can. Again, we got to give it for our beautiful sponsors, allowing and thanking them for hosting this for the South Africa sim racing community. And then of course a big shout out to MSA Motorsport South Africa, who has allowed us to officially create cup championships between different leagues of sim racing. Again, if you want, you can head over to their website and get more information on every other community that is hosting races for the love of sim racing in South Africa. Absolutely fantastic. Big shout out again, MSA. Thank you for allowing us to do this. As we move into the race further on, let's see how this is evolving. Rowe on the other hand, he is still hunting down Serodio. This gap is so close. Marginally, it's rear end to bumper all the way through. Neville on the other hand has managed to slowly close that delta from a 3-second deficit to a 2. Again, he's still got a lot of work to do, but plenty of laps in to do that for. So just got to keep that head down. Mayer has extended the gap a bit between himself and Musa. Bauer settling it nicely back 4 seconds behind them. Grobler on the other hand being the aggressor here for Hybrid Sim Racing. Hybrid Racing Pro 1 team. Battling out, looks on the inside there, has a moment, decided not to do that, which I would believe is a very, very clever thought, because that could have ended up in a severe, catastrophic, race ruining fight. As it continues a little bit backwards. De Jager on the other hand, still very comfortable in his 15th position. He is gaining spots as he moves up, but this is all just trying to keep his nose clean. So from Griffin Sim Racing, doing a fantastic drive over there, is in between two other Ferraris at the moment. Just don't know why my throat is so scratchy today. Been one of those days. Find a year for there in 17th spot, fending off Paul, who has just given him a spot. So Paul Fenter just taken a gap given by Van der Yever. That was I don't know if that was meant to be or in kindness or these boys talking on chat, but that just looked like an easy passing maneuver. Paul Fenter trying to make it up in the mix there. Paviers here looking left and right as you see down the road. He reckons he needs to pass the Jager. Of course, it's a battle between Pro and Pro-Am, which I don't think the Jager needs to get involved in. If I was the Jager and there's no need for me to lose or gain positions, I would have potentially just walked out on the side, but if these boys are matching times, then why would you? At the end of the day, it's still a race. A race is whether a race be forward and a race backwards. To the back of the grid, closest Pro-Am battle at this stage is between Scruton and Van der Sand. So we got TTHR here in the BMW. This is for second and third spot in the Pro-Am division. Van der Sand currently in third, Scruton in second. They're both chasing down the Jager. Naval went into the pits, which is a bit unusual. I wonder if he's made a small error dropping down. Two individuals fighting it out very hard. Young is not far away from that. Of course, he has got a car in between him and Van der Sand that he needs to maneuver past. Blue flags are being showed to the driver there. So again, the AM division is definitely going to get very interesting as well. Back to the front of the grid, we still have Meyer leading the race. 20 minutes into it, has done the fastest lap so far. And again, gotta admit, that is a quick lap, a 1:28.297, as everyone would have seen at the bottom of the screen. It's phenomenally quick. So he's trying to maintain the gap between himself and Musa. These boys are here battling out for championship, as we've indicated at the start of the race, even during the qualifying session. This is the final Cup Championship division for Logistical Nightmare at 2024. So again, we've done two sets of races, or two sets of championship races, whereby it was constructed out of 4 races. Let's call them season 1, season 2, to find out who is the top individuals that will qualify for the final season. Out of that, we took everyone that has won and competed and got the points they needed to participate here, put them in the pool of the final championship to see who can come out as reigning cup champions at Logistical Nightmare. From that, and then with great pleasure, we have 3 races this season. So it's go big or go broke. Everything counts. Today we are at Zolder. 14 days from now we will go to Masano, and then 14 days thereafter we will finish off in a classic South African style at the Kyalami circuit on the 17th of November. Pretty much the same time from a racing standpoint. For the boys in the UK, we all know that the clock will switch a bit, so slightly earlier for them. So if you want to stay tuned and see what's happening, do hit that like and subscribe, and then just come out there to support. Again, for everyone on the stream, I will take a side note and say thank you for all your support. It is an absolute pleasure trying to do this in the best of my capabilities. I am not a commentator, but I do love doing it, purely because I do love watching how these boys get on the track and get down and dirty. I mean, who doesn't? News on the stream, we got Jude Neville again. A couple of minutes ago I did mention he's gone into the pit box, which I didn't understand what went wrong. Neville on the stream went brake pedal just went. You gotta give me a bit more information then, Neville. Went where? Did it go on a date? Did it meet someone else? Did you break it? A bit of force? That is not cool. Again, I kind of know what you mean. That is absolutely unfortunate, but I do hope you get it right for the next race. That is just an absolute utter sadness. Gamble going, commentating skills are good. Hey, love the support. Thank you, man. I do try. I am not the best. I can honestly tell you I am not the best. I know there are boys out there in South Africa that have got absolutely great skills in doing the commentating. They are just phenomenal. Even I'm flabbergasted by them when they do commentating. I'll even give a shout out to one of them. His name would be Steven, commentator of note, best in class. But enough of us. It's not about us, it's about the racing. And Neville, come back to me and tell me, where did your brakes go? I mean, you said it went somewhere. People on the stream would love to know, where did it go to? So let's find some action. I need action. I need action. 36 minutes of racing. These boys are not gonna pit today, which is sad, because I reckon a pit stop would have just created a bit more entertainment where we are. Domingo, on the other hand, has dropped a few positions and people have missed out on that. I do humbly apologize. He was in heavy battles there with Rowe not so long ago. Rowe has managed to escape and passed him from Hybrid Pro Racing 1. Of course, his teammate not far from him either, so we got the two Hybrid boys following alongside each other in 5th and 6th position. Barrington Smith is hunted down Domingo, so I reckon Domingo probably had a bit of fumble somewhere on the racing line. He had phenomenal speed and that beautiful BMW with him, so I reckon he's just gonna settle it down, get the nerves back into, or back in check, because, and then get the job done. That if there's one thing that this track can do to you, is unsettle you. There's just no two ways about it. It is, as small as this track is, as, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's amazing, because it's just one of those tough tracks that every time I hear about it, and again, there's only a certain amount of individuals out there that will go, I love Zolder. Whoever they are, I reckon they need to get some psychiatric help, because it's a track that demands pure focus all the time, constantly. If you hit one brake marker miss and you wobble, you will have that in your head the whole race through. It will eat you up until you actually settle back in, and those S's is known to do this. It just kills your confidence with an instant. You think you've got it under wraps? One corner, one brake mark, one bump, and you'll be just too scared to do that the whole time. It requires absolute concentration. Anyone else that wants to tell me anything different, please feel free, because that just is not the case. So to the front of the grid, Verveers here in 14th place. Everyone from 14th all the way up are pro boys. They are really fighting it out as hard as they can. Verveers, on the other hand, he is chasing down Heineke there. Now Heineke is the driver for Sarko Racing. This is the first Sarko Racing boy that I've touched base with. Welcome back in the mix. Ooh, big dive there from Verveers. Takes the inside line. No real challenge there by Heineke. Lets him go though. I think it's all about long-term thoughts and processes there, because again, 60 minutes of racing on this track is heavy on your tires. You might be quick now, but later on in those final 10-15 minutes when you have no grip, no tires, we will most likely see Heineken coming back. Now I don't have any tire delta on me, but I reckon that is probably his plan. Choose your battles wisely is where I would go with. Do not overrun your tires, because it's just gonna hurt you in the long run. And you can see he hasn't stopped finishing. He wants to battle it out again. So whether he's just a little bit quicker than Verveers in the first sector, that is still to be determined. The Jager on the other hand, sitting nicely and comfortable there in 15th position. In the Pro-Am division, we still have Scruton, Van der Sand and Young. Young has somehow managed to close the gap between the two ahead of him. And this is, of course, the battle for dominance in the Pro-Am division. They gotta fight very hard to get to the Jager. But as it stands, it looks quite comfortable there for Scruton, driving for TTHR, being chased down by two LNR boys from, oh no wait, sorry, We Are Base. Van der Sand from We Are Base, and then of course Dave Young from Logistical Nightmare Racing. How could I get that wrong? Absolutely horrible. To the front of the pack, not real much changes there apart from these two still battling it out. This is Domingo and Beddington. It allows me to go back to the YouTube and see if there's any new comments there. Again, not so long ago we talked about the best commentators in South Africa. Antonia Gamble totally agreeing with me that Stephen is the man, love the man to bits and pieces. Great commentator. He has absolutely good talent. I don't know how he does it. It has to be lots of practice or just a natural method to do so. Sometimes the best sportsmen out there will just have that natural ability on doing things. Envious is all I'm going with. Envious. So halfway through the race we are. Nothing really has changed from a track temperature point of view. Everything's running as smoother as it is. 28 degrees on track, the temperature at 23, a slight gust of wind out there hitting the halfway mark as we speak. So again, no real pit stop strategy for anyone here. I reckon lap times will slowly depreciate one by one in general, because I don't think anyone's gonna do the fastest lap time that Meyer has done. And just to go back onto that, as you'll see, his best time was a 1:27.917, and his last lap was a 1:29. So times are depleting slowly for these individuals as the graining effect of the tires takes into play. Everyone at the present moment, and to the situation at this stage, most individuals, even from 1 to 15, let me see if I can get any further. 15, yeah. So all the drivers from position 1 all the way to position 17 are really doing marginal 129s at the present moment. I mean, that's very close for 17 drivers in a pack of 41 to do similar times lap by lap is exceptional. A big thanks, shout out there by Meyer. What has gone on? As he passes a couple of back end markers. I'm really having technical difficulties today for some strange reason. My application is just deciding to do its own automated things, and I just do not know why. Awful. Musa, second place. Just less than 3 seconds off the delta from Meyer. He's been keeping an eye on him throughout the race from the start. Of course, Musa was the man that started in pole position, got challenged very quickly at the start of the race, whereby Mayer was just slightly quicker off the mark than him. They went side by side through many corners to see who has got the biggest kahunas to get into the top first place. Now, Mayer managed to take the gap, take the lead, and has kept it up there for quite some time. They are now passing a few back markers here and there, so I reckon this time between them will slowly get closer and closer to each other. Apart from that, Zerodia has gained a few spots. Probler and them have dropped a few spots. Now that's quite interesting. There's no pit stops or anything whatsoever. Oh no, wait, it's still the same. Sorry, Zerodia still in fourth. He's off by a few seconds. Then of course we've got the two teammates from Hybrid Racing Pro 1 sitting in 5th and 6th. Domingo, who managed to create the gap between himself and Bennington Smith from Project Viper. Bennington, as we said, driving for Logistical Nightmare Racing in 8th place. And then of course Farmer from Griffin Sim Racing currently in 9th spot. Now Farmer has gone a long way. And then of course we have Peterson also in number 10, closing it off with a Honda. How Peterson drives the odd cars, I just do not get. Because in the previous season, I reckon this man drove a Nissan, and now he's gone and chosen a Honda. And whoever makes deliveries for Logistical Nightmare Racing, I mean, it's absolutely fabulous. I have no idea, but they are gorgeous. Sorry, I'm ranting and raving again about liveries, which is all fair and love and war. Back to Heineke, Verweer and De Jager. These boys are still battling it out. No love lost between them. Boyce here at the back in 20th position. Gotta go a little bit far back. He is currently trying to chase down Van der Heerfer, who's ahead of him. Driving also for Griffin Sim Racing. And these two individuals fighting it out ahead of the Amboys up there. Let's see if we can get a bit further back. Any new battles around the spot? There we go. Slightly ahead here, we've got Brandon Holzhausen. Now he's slowly being caught up by Verweer now. Having a very grey Aston Martin there, representing the Logistical Nightmare Racing boys. Chased down by another Hybrid Racing Adventure team, so I would believe this is the second team for Hybrid Racing. Again, those on stream that know more than me, you could correct me if I'm wrong. We got the Hybrid Pro and we've got Hybrid Adventure on track today. Of course, a few Logistical Nightmare Racings, and then of course Team Martian Racing, who I believe is a combination between Mayer and Serodio. Sorry, my apologies, Mayer and Bauer, who's driving for Martian Racing. So Mayer currently in first, he's ahead of Musa, followed by Bauer, his fellow teammate, in third, looking quite comfortable where he is at the moment, as he just finished coming through the S's. Again, every time I go to Bauer, my screen just goes completely wrong. Something's just not right today. Of course, we've got Serodio by himself, Rowe, Frobler, Domingo, Bennington Smith, Farmer, and then Peterson closing it off in the top 10. Sorry, just changing a bit of seating here just to get a bit comfortable. Bit of action here at the back of the pack. This is Farmer fending off Peterson. It looks to be a little bit held up at the moment there by a car ahead of him being waved the blue flag. So Farmer will get a bit frustrated now. We need to get the back markers to slowly move out of the way, or probably not contest the battle because you are being passed. He moves out of the way. Beautiful execution. It does it in style, allows two cars to get through, but that doesn't mean that the battle ain't over until it's over. This is a Farmer versus Peterson, probably the closest fight in the top 10 at the moment, apart from Holzhausen, who is holding off Verviers there, currently in 12th and 13th position. And then of course a little further back than that in 19th, as you can see, we've got Boyser, who is chasing down Van der Heever there for position. Now this is probably the closest one, as I've said. So these boys will fight it out all the way through. This is gonna be tough and hard. There's a portion of me that really thinks that Zolder is like one of those tracks. It's like, it reminds me partially of Monza for a F1 fan. You really have to think about it. Very, very tight, tricky track, and so hard to make passing maneuvers on. You have to be so skilled and pounce on an opportunity when presented. Because other than that, you will work extremely hard just to make any headway or moves. As we head into the final 20 minutes of the race, getting very, very close here at the back, we now have Heineke from Sarko Racing that has closed up onto Holzhausen. He who has been chasing Verviers for that 12th position. A three-way battle at the moment. Peterson on the other end, just as close. That was nearly bumper to bumper touching. Oh, big look there by Heineke. Wanted to send it on the inside, but knew it would have been dangerous. Setting himself up to go down the long straight. Is he going to come into... Is Holzhausen going to go defensive? No, he does not. Does go a bit deep, though. That might compromise both their exit speeds as they lose the momentum to Verviers. Verviers has a bit of a breathing space now. The battle is now on between Holzhausen and Heineke. Team LNR versus Team Sarko all the way. Loving the confrontation, loving the depth. Beautiful driving by them. Not far from them is Paul Venter. He also looks to be closing up the gap there. I don't know what has happened to Paul, because I do believe he qualified ahead of the pack. He's 3 positions from his qualifying position in general. He's currently in 15th, but he probably started off somewhere in 11th at the stage, so something had to have occurred for him to drop that far. I do not know the full details of that, but nonetheless, if anyone has insight, you are more than welcome to send it through. From a race control lock position point, you can see a couple of contacts here and there, not much being dealt with. Just Steven So yeah, as we head into the final section, it just doesn't look like Heineke can locate a gap on Holzhausen. Holzhausen getting a bit more comfortable as he sits in the front of the pack, though things have swapped around slightly. So Van der Zandt and Young has somehow managed to make a move on Scruton. Scruton has dropped 2 positions down. The battle is now on between We Are Pace and LNR driver Dave Young. And Scruton a little bit at the back of the pack. Now, if I have to guess what it is and what's causing Scruton to lose a bit of time, is he could have gone a bit too hard on these front end tires. Those BMW do love grip on the front end, and if that is gone, then you're just gonna lose so much time. And it does seem like he is edging away by about 0.2, 0.3 of a lap. Dave Young, on the other hand, being slightly more aggressive there to Van der Zandt. I honestly don't see any other We Are Pace cars at the moment, unless I'm absolutely wrong. There we go, bit deep there for Van der Zandt. Oh, slight overtaking position. Van der Zandt just goes defensive mode, makes Dave go around him the long way, and that's not going to work through this tight end. A good exit here for Dave might help him capitalize onto the first corner. Will Van der Zandt go defensive? Ooh, small peak there by Dave. Slightly hesitant though. It's like he wants to take the opportunity, but also thinks about the long-term effects that if he collides with Van der Zandt, he will have to go and get that repaired or lose time or suffer the consequences. So a bit of smart driving at the moment. However, based on pace and where it looks to be from a sector to sector point of view, Dave Young seems to be marginally quicker than Van der Zandt. But as these two boys are battling it out, that allows Scruton to come back a bit more. So I'll see how that evolves as we head a bit to the front again. Just go take a slight peek in our race leader, Mayer, who I haven't seen on track in a while. He is looking quite marginally good there in first place. No real challenge from Musa, who's currently in second. However, Musa has not allowed him to get away at all, so it's not a runaway victory at this stage, but a firm and steady lead for the remainder of the 14 minutes is required in order to take the victory. And he is working his way through traffic as everyone from a traffic blue flag point of view gets nicely out of the way. And again, that's very sim racing and justified by them. But battle wise, I don't think there's anything anywhere marginally close. This is Rowe here, ahead of his teammate Grobler. He is still trying to hunt down Serodio in the BMW. They are about 3 seconds apart from each other. As you can see, Rowe there coming in the background with Serodio heading into the quick S's. And then of course we have Grobler here trying to fend off Domingo, who managed to get away from Barrington Smith. Not so long ago they were fighting it out for positions. Domingo looks to be the better driver at this stage, well, the better prepared driver, because he might have just safeguarded his tires all the way. It just seems like that BMW has got all the grip at the moment. Roblar struggling through the S's, still has marginal pace ahead of him. Is this where Domingo makes the move, looks on the inside, puts his nose in? Roblar just went, no ways are you passing me there, closes the door on him instantaneously. That means Domingo has to sit back, regroup and rethink on how he is going to make a move onto Roblar. Domingo being the aggressor at this stage. Holzhausen here at the back, fending off Heineke and Venter. As I've said before, Paul Venter was closing the gap there between these two. Holzhausen managing continuously to fend off Heineke. But now it's a three-way battle, and this could get very intense over the next couple of minutes. Pace-wise, it allowed a third individual to come within challenging position. Now, tie up the rank, 13th point, 13th position they are fighting for. But here, every point counts. One bad race, one good race, anything can go. We'll see where it ends. You just never stop fighting. Even though the race championship was 3 races, anything can happen. Any valuable point you can gain throughout the races will get you up the ladder. This might not be your best race, but maybe the next 2 are. So while that's ongoing, Scudder on the other hand, also in the mix. Again, I haven't really shouted out for him. Someone earlier on the stream went, go Stefan Vessels, or Stefan and Scudder. So Scudder here in 17th position. He is right behind Diacher, who's still the leading car for the Pro-Ams. And of course, he's got Van der Sant, Young and Scruton. That's currently 2 or 3 cars behind him. But I'm going to keep a close eye on this battle though, because this is going to get quite interesting in between these 3. Just depends on who has got probably the most grip and the cool and calm collective head to manage it through. That to me does look like Paul Venter in number 41 is really pushing hard, putting mega amounts of pressure onto Heineke. None of them really being cheeky at this stage, looking on the inside to try and challenge each other. So also being clever in their executions. Oh, big hiccup there by the Ferrari. Paul Venter looks opportunistic, puts it on the inside. Is he going to take a dive? No, he does not. Momentum stops him from taking that move. But however, a very slow exit there by Holzhausen. That puts Heineke on his rear end. Holzhausen going defensive instantaneously. Oh, opportunistic. No, can't even call it. One small mistake by one wants the other one to take it. Marginal error by the other one wants the other one to take it. It's unbelievable. This is going to evolve into something very exciting very quickly though. But I also gotta have a look at what's happening here between Farmer and Verveer. Domingo and Grobler, who did battle not so long ago, has created a bit of gap between themselves. These 2 boys are certainly fighting it out. Oh, big look there by Verveer. Fairly sure that was just to make Farmer aware that he is still there, still waiting to capitalize and pounce on him. Slow exit by Farmer, a good exit here by Verveer. Could that allow him to take a dive onto the inside line? No, he's just too far away. Holtzhausen on the other end making the move on a back marker. Fenter and Heineke fighting it out now. That gives a bit of breathing space there for Holtzhausen. And these boys got to be careful because not far from them is Skitter. He is hunting them down. Although he has a few back markers to work his way through, but he is not far from that. So the more they fight, the closer that battle will be amongst these three boys. 6 minutes remaining. That's approximately about 5 laps left. This is Ryan Beddington-Smith. He is closing the gap once again to Domingo. Domingo, who did challenge Grobler not so long ago, probably decided to settle a little bit back, regroup, refocus to see what he can do to take Grobler on. Grobler being very, very defensive not so long ago, being exceptionally good. Now, what does make it interesting is if we look at where we stand now, Meyer and Musa. This is going to be, is this a move on the final stages? Because Musa has closed the gap down to 1.3 delta to Meyer. One big final push or shove by Meyer to potentially take the victory. That is going to be phenomenal if he does manage it, but Musa is pushing. His last lap was 6/10 seconds, nearly 7/10 quicker than Meyer. So probably got a good team radio mission going. It's time to go. All to win and not all, everything to gain, nothing to lose as aspect. So this is where I'm going to keep my eyes on. There's back markers, there's a battle, and this is for winning position. So I'm not moving anywhere. Sarko by Dylan says go Ruan. That is Heineke in car number 18 with the 14 fighting Holtzhausen, and then of course Skutter. I think something has happened to Paul Fenter because I don't see him in that mix anymore. Paul Fenter's gone to the pitch, so it's literally just that battle. But apparently this battle is gonna brew up very, very quickly. So Paul Fenter in the pit stop. Don't know why he's there, but he went pit box. He was fighting it up in the mix. Heineke and Holtzhausen. Just sort of where we are. Musa dropped a little bit more. Now that could have been purely on traffic. Domingo once again on the move to Grobler. Back markers getting out of the way. Ryan Beddington-Smith also close in the mix there. As he comes around. Great drive there by the back marker. I don't know who you are, but you are absolutely fantastic. Allowing the front runners to do their race. Just looking back where we had the battle, Heineke versus Holzhausen, still ongoing. Van der Sant in the Pro-Am, he has managed to move away from Dave Young, so have taken a move to Van der Heever, created a gap between himself and Dave Young, which will pretty much settle 1, 2 and 3, because the Jager in the Pro-Am division from Griffin Sim Racing looks to take the victory for the Pro-Am guys. Again, brilliant drive by him to do so. Great qualifying, great race execution, top-notch driving through and through. Have not stopped. I reckon we've got about 2 laps to go before we close this session off. Now again, for everyone on the stream that probably has just joined now, and again, thanks for joining and thanks for following and listening to how this has evolved. Just a quick recap of what has occurred. So at the start of the race, we did have Musa that did the pole position. Meyer and Musa went side by side through many corners, fighting it out for top-notch spot. But since then, Meyer from Martian Racing Teams has led the race and has pushed extremely hard to keep away from Musa in the BMW. Fellow teammate Bauer in 3rd place kept hunting them down, but have settled to that position. Then of course we have Serodio in 4th, Rowan Krobler, 2 team racing mates from from Hybrid Racing 1 have settled in nicely there. Then of course we have Domingo, who has just made a move on road. That has happened. Krobler now under severe pressure because Ryan Barrington Smith is on his rear end. Domingo made the move when needed, capitalized. Final laps, in the brink of the final, everything is happening. Will Ryan Barrington Smith do the same? A bit of flashlights there by Krobler. He is probably not happy about something. So whether that is a bit of contact between the guys when a position or move was made, that is to be determined. But we are in the final sectors of the race at Zolder. This is Meyer, started in 2nd position and is nearing the end for taking the first victory at the LNR MSA Finals Cup Championship Race 1 at Zolder. Victory for him. Martian Racing takes the checkered flag, followed closely there by Musa, and then of course Bauer coming around the corner, taking the penultimate podium. Brilliant drive start to finish. Serodio finishing in 4th, and then of course we have Rowe, Domingo, who made a move in the final sector to Krobler. Krobler, big slide there. Barrington Smith going very slowly though. 14 days we're gonna go to Masano. I see my voice has gone way off. I switched it off by accident. So fun race. Thanks for everyone. Martians takes the victory. Till next time. Cheerio. Good night. God bless. Goodbye.